Alright, I'm not really sure how this works because I haven't really done a lot of videoing and whatnot, so we're gonna give this a shot. Working on a 2002 GTJ. It's got a LQ9 6.0 LS motor, Warren 8274. Currently running the Dana 30 low pinion, 488 gears, ARB, chrome all the axles. It's been there for a long time. It's held up well, done a lot of trails. A few breakages, but considering what it's been through, it's actually done pretty well.
Before that move. Keep doing it. Thank you, Lisa.
Jeep's running a Atlas 4-speed with a 4.3 and the 2.7 planetaries. It's got a Rubicon Express long arm, the standard Rubicon front radius arm setup. The back's been extended, so we have new arms through MetalCloak with MetalCloak joints, and uppers on the rear truss. It's probably hard to see, but it's Jock joints on the top with MetalCloak on the inside of the frame, and then it's got the Frenched in shock towers where you could put coilovers on at some point. And then it's got the Dynatrac HP60. It's not the Pro Arc version, it's just it was a trail series when we got it back in 2004, 2005. TJ width, had all the TJ brackets on it originally. Explorer disc brakes, 488 gears, and an ARB as well. And that rear end in 25 years has been extremely reliable. No issues with it, it's been perfect. So we're on the MV3550 transmission, and got the Genrite Highline fenders with the Genrite stretch kit, the wraparound corners and rear fenders, and then also obviously the rockers. Jeep works very well. I think it's 4.5-inch coils on the front. Could be mistaken. Currently on 35s. Anyways, we have a high pinion 44 to go in the front. It's going to get swapped over to a 3-link. It's going to be we're going to run MetalCloak joints on the lowers, and then on the uppers, our upper, it's only going to be one upper. It's going to have a MetalCloak joint on the axle side and then a Heim joint on the frame side, just because of room by the drive line. We'll stretch the front out a little bit. The front end we're putting in there. We also have a PSC steering box and ram set up on there with a it's got the Genrite twisted pitman arm, high pinion 488 ARB. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. I think I'm gonna switch over to time lapse and see how that turns out, tearing the front end apart. All right, for now. All right, I did the time lapse. Here's the front axle. Anybody looking for one, hit me up. 4D, A or B, chromoly axles. The housing's pretty bent. Track bar broke, it's cracked. Rubicon long arm. Now it's time to get to work. Cutting all the towers off. Track bar bracket. We had a trail break up on Doozy last year. This whole lower section broke off the frame. My buddy Aaron and his son Isaac welded that back up with their Premier Power Welder on the trail. Did a fantastic job. I got to get the steering box off. We got a new PSC box going on. New track bar bracket. Got the WFO coilover tower is going to go on there. And we're doing a Fox 2.0 12-inch travel coilovers. And yeah, should be a pretty good setup. Pretty wide open under there right now. I had to use the high lift to balance it because I had to put the jacks down so far back because those to get to the bolts on that skid plate really needed moving forward. I need to get some taller stands I can put under the bumper, but once I get all that cleaned up, it should start going together pretty quick. Well, I haven't been doing very good at filming this. I'm definitely not Shannon Campbell. But anyways, I made some progress. Got the D44 in there. Had to rebuild a new upper link bracket, build all new links. The track bar bracket's just tacked in there. The pivot arm's hanging in. I gotta get the new box on there. These TGs have a 3-bolt box, and this is an 02. I didn't realize exactly the difference between the 02 and the 03 to 06. Knew they were both 3-bolt boxes, but didn't know that the mounting pattern was different. So this front axle we bought had a PSC box with a PSC ram, 3-bolt, but it was off of the 03 Plus, so that third ear was welded on in a different location than the actual 02 97 to 02 TJ. It has more of a conventional Saginaw style box. So instead of redoing the frame to fit the 03 style bolt pattern, we bought another box, and then we'll sell that one. But I gotta finish cleaning up the weld, but I'm gonna add a 4th hole in the frame to make it a 4-bolt box instead of using just the 3. So got the frames all cleaned up. The caliper just hanging there temporarily. Axle's just roughly placed. I gotta still put the coil towers and whatnot. But it's been a lot of cutting and grinding and stuff to get to here. I should have been filming a little bit more, but alas, I didn't. So, anyways, hopefully I'll get a little more when I get this other bolt done. Clean this mount up a little bit more. Finish getting that final located and finish welded, and then start working on the shocks. Till then, well, we're making some progress. Got the steering box all mounted up. Got the 4th bolt put in there. The track bar brackets all welded on. Got the WFO coilover towers, TJ towers with the Fox 2.0 by 12-inch travel. Got them mounted up. Trying to figure out spring rates. I got to cut the inner fender and try to fit it back in and put all the stuff back in. On top, it's going to be tight. Not sure how it's going to fit, but we'll figure that out. So the other side to do, this is gonna be fun because the frame was notched for air conditioning, so it's going to be a challenge. But making progress. This is a marketplace find on the front axle. All right, I had to chop the bumper because the tire hits. Not sure if I'm gonna chop it enough. That's enough, but I'm gonna put a little return on it. So I'm not really sure. I gotta play with it a little bit and see how much room we got. I could just cap it and call it good, but that's kind of boring. Some updates since last time I videoed. I plan on taking a lot more footage of this build, but I didn't. Anyways, since I started the build, I installed a lift. We kind of do a little quick walk around. PSC box, ram assist. This is the front end we got off Facebook Marketplace. High pinion 44 of a Ford truck, narrowed down to stock TJ width, Chevy knuckles, Ford rotors, Chevy brakes, FK Heims in the steering, the Genrite twisted pitman arm. All right, so let's try this again. The battery died. So we got the Genrite track bar bracket because this Jeep was all set up with Genrite stuff. So went back to their bracket, got the WFO TJ 12-inch coilover towers, the WFO bump stops they sell. They have like on their Tacoma build. The cans are from Poly Performance, and I just used some 2-inch 120 wall, capped it and bolted that end on there. Switched over from the Rubicon Express radius arm style suspension to a 3-link. It's got the 6-liter LS in here. I use the, I think they call it their teardrop mount or whatever from WFO with the Heim, because it's pretty tight to the drive line. But so far it seems to clear. Use the MetalCloak joints on the ends of the lowers, and then also on the axle side upper. What else we got here? That's just some oil. I had a power steering leak, so that's kind of oily from that. Clean that up. The front end needs to be painted and stuff, but the rear here we've got a Dynatrac high pinion 60. It was their trail series when we bought it, so it's not the high clearance. But originally bought it with all the TJ brackets because it had replaced the Dana 35, and he broke the 35 the first trip out. We put the 60 in here about 20 years ago. I think it was 2005, maybe 4. Then about 5 years ago, put the Genrite stretch corners on it, move the rear end back, the Frenched in shock towers. I believe those are WFOs. We also had some Genrites at the time, so I'm not sure which ones those are, one or the other. The upper coil mounts are MetalCloak, and the coils are MetalCloak. The coils are a 3.5 inch MetalCloak. Also same on the rear, MetalCloak joints. MetalCloak joints down there. The uppers went with the narrow Johnny joints because of the vertical bolts on the truss. That truss was added when we stretched it. It's got the Genrite stretch gas tank.
Functioning emergency brake. I think those are low car cables, I believe. The Atlas 4-speed transfer case with the Rubicon Express belly pan and no body lift. Just had to do some massaging of the floor up there to get it to clear. And then new upper mounts because those factory uppers on the, well, they're not factory, but the uppers on the Rubicon Express skid plate are okay for stock-ish, but not strong enough. So we got full-size MetalCloak joints there. Run the, I think the MV3550 transmission with a 6-liter. So far it's been good. This Jeep's done a lot of trails. Genrite rockers. Genrite Highline fenders. And then the Warren bumper was too wide because the tires with the front end stretched forward about 3 inches. Was running into some clearance issues with the tires, so turned that into a bobbed Warren bumper, and I'll lower down with the lift and we'll do a little more footage. All right, I know I haven't been doing very good keeping up on filming, but just about getting this thing wrapped up. I don't remember what I did film last. I shortened up the Warren bumper to give room for the tires because the front end was shifted forward. Sway bars, we got some Currie anti-rock sway bars, front and rear. Just got done with the rear. Hopefully it'll work. We might have some clearance issues to play with, but I'm gonna do some fine tuning. So because of the stretch in the back, we can't run it back here. Coil towers, the shock towers, eventually maybe get coilovers, but so I had to run the sway bar across in front. I had to make a little bracket stuff on there. Kind of screw up the stickers because I bought flat arms and then kind of bent them to clear this. Might have some tire clearance issues rubbing there. Welded a couple tabs on down there for the lower mount. And yeah, eventually if we get this, go to coilovers and cut all this stuff off and run a little bit flatter arm, get a little more tire clearance because he's not running wider axles than basically stock width. We got 1.5-inch spacers on there because 40s are going to be tight. But we do have a Dynatrac. It was the Trail Series 60 when we bought it, but it's a high pinion 488 ARB. So it's their aftermarket housing and everything. So this one I got the stickers off. I gotta get another sticker, but yeah, I'll be taking her test drive tomorrow and see how she drives with the sway bars. When I first test drove it after getting the front end all in, it drove absolutely horrible. Made some changes. The first Genrite track bar that I used, I'm sorry, this axle was out of a Genrite equipped Jeep. The track bar bracket on the frame side that they used to sell is a lot shorter. This joint is up closer to the frame and not as far out. So what that caused was the track bar, because it drops the frame side down, the track bar and the drag link were different angles. So in order to get those angles the same, I re-drilled this bracket, moved it down, and now we're less than a degree difference at ride height. So that made a significant difference in drivability. So just got to go through and nut and bolt everything. Got to tighten that jam nut up there. Just to kind of give everything a once over and take it out and test it out. See how she does. She should be pretty much ready to go. We got to flex it out and adjust the bump stops. I know I kind of addressed them before, but those are the cans from Poly Performance. And this is just a piece of 2-inch 120 tubing, and then the bumps themselves. There's a kit from WFO. They make these little brackets and then these little bumps in there. So in the future, if he wants to go, you put some Fox air bumps in there. We'll be able to do it. So yeah, she's getting close. And as you noticed too, when I started this project, I didn't have the lift, and I added that. And that's been a game changer. So anyway, that's where we're at right now, and hopefully I'll remember to maybe take some footage tomorrow when I take it for a test drive. And there it goes, back home. Put the sway bars on it. She drove nice. Here we go. Heck yeah. That 6-liter's got some power.